Johnny Carson, the king of late-night television, a man known for his wit, his charm, and his ability to make the world laugh every night. But one evening, something happened on live TV that no one expected. Johnny Carson broke down crying on live television, and what a 7-year-old boy said that night changed everything. It was a moment that millions still talk about decades later. A moment that showed the world the man behind the laughter. It all began like any other episode of The Tonight Show. The studio was filled with laughter, the audience ready for another night of fun. But then Johnny introduced a special guest, a young boy whose story would melt every heart watching. The boy walked onto the stage, nervously holding a small piece of paper. He was only 7 years old, but his eyes carried a wisdom far beyond his years. Johnny smiled, trying to make him comfortable, asking questions, making jokes, the way he always did. But what the boy said next silenced the room. He told Johnny that his biggest dream was to meet him, because Johnny reminded him of his dad. The audience smiled until the boy continued. He said his dad had passed away just weeks before, but every night when his mom turned on the TV, Johnny made them laugh again. He said, "You helped my mom smile when she forgot how to." Those words hit Johnny like a wave. For a moment, he couldn't speak. The studio fell silent. You could see his eyes begin to water as he looked at the boy. This wasn't just another interview. It was a reminder of what his work truly meant. Johnny tried to joke it off at first, but his voice trembled. He reached out, took the boy's hand, and said, "Thank you, son. That means more to me than you'll ever know." The audience rose to their feet. In applause, it wasn't just a TV moment. It was pure humanity broadcast live to millions. Johnny Carson, the man who had made the world laugh for decades, was now crying on stage because of the innocent honesty of a child. After the show, people said they had never seen Johnny so vulnerable. Those who worked with him said that moment changed him. He realized that his laughter wasn't just entertainment. It was healing for people who were hurting. In later interviews, Johnny admitted that the boy's words stayed with him forever. He said, "That night I learned that sometimes the jokes aren't what matter. It's the heart behind them." The clip went viral. Years later, shared across the internet as one of the most emotional moments in television history. Fans around the world still comment, saying they could feel the love, the pain, and the connection between them. Even decades after his passing, that moment reminds us why Johnny Carson was more than just a comedian. He was a man who understood that laughter could heal. That one conversation with a 7-year-old boy proved that behind every joke, there's a story. Behind every smile, there's a reason. And behind every legend, there's a heart that feels just like ours. So if you remember Johnny Carson, take a moment in the comments to say thank you for the laughter, the memories, and the humanity he shared with the world. Because sometimes it only takes the honesty of a child to show even the greatest stars what truly matters in life. As the cameras stopped rolling that night, Johnny Carson sat in silence, backstage, still shaken by the boy's words. Crew members said they had never seen him like that before. He just sat there holding a tissue, his eyes red, whispering to himself, "That little kid changed me." From that night on, something in Johnny shifted. His show remained funny, but there was a new warmth in his jokes, a depth that only comes from understanding what your work truly means. He began taking more time to connect with his guests, listening deeper, laughing softer, and letting his heart lead the way. People noticed the change, saying Johnny seemed kinder, more human, more real than ever before. He often referred to that episode as the night the show stopped being just a show. The little boy's words echoed in his mind whenever he faced a tough day or a moment of doubt. Johnny would tell friends, if a 7-year-old can find hope in what I do, then I guess I'm doing something right. Years later, in a rare interview, Johnny mentioned that the boy had written him a letter, thanking him for letting him speak. Johnny said he kept that letter in his desk until the day he retired. It reminded him of his purpose every time he opened it. Fans still talk about that moment as the most powerful in late-night television history. Not because of the tears, but because of the truth. A simple child reminded a giant that even the smallest acts of joy can change lives. Johnny's legacy isn't just about comedy or fame, it's about connection, kindness, and the power of emotion shared with millions. That's why, even decades later, people still watch that clip with tears in their eyes. It's more than nostalgia. It's a reminder that behind every smile lies a story, and sometimes the strongest people are the ones who dare to feel. Johnny Carson may have been the king of late night, but that night he became something even greater, a symbol of humanity. And that's why his memory still lives on in every heart that believes in the power of laughter and love. In the days following that emotional broadcast, Johnny Carson received thousands of letters from viewers all over the country. People wrote about how that moment moved them to tears, how it made them call their parents, hug their children, and appreciate life just a little more. Johnny read every single one he could. He said it was the first time he truly understood how deeply television could touch the human soul. Behind the curtains and the laughter, he realized that what he was doing went beyond entertainment. He was healing people. Friends close to him said Johnny became more introspective after that night. The man who once hid behind his jokes began to open up more about his own struggles, his loneliness, and his desire to make the world a little kinder. He often mentioned that the boy's words taught him that strength isn't about hiding your tears. It's about letting them fall when the heart needs to. The show continued, but that moment stayed etched in everyone's memory. It became a turning point not only in Johnny's life, but in television history. Producers, guests, and fans alike said it was the first time they saw the real Johnny Carson, vulnerable, honest, and human. That one 7-year-old child reminded the world that even the funniest man in America could feel pain and love just like everyone else. And maybe that's what made him so great. He wasn't just a host, he was a mirror to the human experience. Every laugh, every tear, every pause on his show carried the weight of that moment. Even today, that clip continues to circulate online, touching new generations who never knew him, but instantly feel his heart. It's a testament to the power of empathy. That one honest moment can echo through time. Johnny Carson may have been known for his jokes, but in that moment, he taught the world something deeper. That true greatness isn't in the spotlight, it's in the soul behind it. Years later, Johnny Carson would still talk about that night when a 7-year-old boy changed everything. He said it was the first time he truly felt the weight of humanity on his stage. That young boy with his innocent eyes and pure heart taught him that the most powerful moments in life aren't scripted, they're felt. People all over the world continued to write to Johnny, thanking him for letting the world see a different side of himself. Many said that his tears gave them permission to feel their own. For a man known for his composure and quick wit, that moment of vulnerability made him more beloved than ever before. It was no longer just about laughter. It was about connection. Behind the cameras, Johnny confided in his close friends that the experience changed his life. He started spending more time with his family, calling his loved ones more often, and appreciating the quiet moments away from fame. He once said in an interview that the boy's words still echoed in his mind. Whenever he looked at the audience, a reminder that every smile could be hiding a story. Over time, that interview became legendary, a symbol of compassion, in an industry often known for its coldness. People rewatched it not just to see Johnny cry, but to feel the humanity that burst through the screen. Even after his retirement, fans would send him letters saying how that single moment inspired them to reconnect with their own families. When asked about it, years later, Johnny simply smiled and said, "That kid reminded me what really matters." Those words captured his transformation from a man who made the world laugh to a man who made the world feel. That's why that moment still lives on, because it wasn't just television history, it was a reminder of the power of kindness, innocence, and the beauty of a child's heart. After that emotional night, Johnny Carson became a different man. He was still the king of late night, still charming and funny, but there was a new depth to him that everyone could feel. That moment with the little boy had opened something inside him, a kindness, a tenderness that could no longer stay hidden behind the jokes. In later interviews, Johnny said that he never forgot the look in that child's eyes, the honesty in his voice, and the way the entire studio fell silent as if the world had stopped turning for just a moment. The clip went viral long before social media even existed. News outlets replayed it. Fans wrote letters from all over the country, saying they cried watching Johnny cry. It was proof that even the strongest men have hearts that can break. People said it felt like seeing their own father or grandfather let his guard down.